Hello, Nigerians. Good evening, wherever you are. And I hope you are still praying for us if you're not a Nigerian. The lovers of Nigerians who want to know what is happening and the update we bring in this particular channel. Thank you once again for coming to hang out with us this evening. I'm sure you have your cup of coffee, your cup of tea, or your water if you are someone who likes to just go for water only. Now, this night we're going to be having some interesting time of discussion and reviewing what is on air. Of course, the CSU saga is still blowing very hot because aside from the fact that we know, as you will hear, that there is a case of forgery here, the implications to Nigerians are already reverberating, as many of you may have seen, the kind of complaints we are getting all over the world, the way they are looking at Nigerians, the way my own friends call me, and the way they laugh at me because of my country, because of my government, and everything. Howbeit, we want to specifically talk this night, the narrative that is going there. It is obvious. I told you people, I have a postgraduate diploma in public relations, so I know when a PR manager is talking. Media houses in Nigeria have been hijacked. Influencers have been hijacked all over Twitter, all over YouTube to do what? To do crisis management for APC and to prime the mind of the Supreme Court judges so that before they decide, it will look like the public opinion have already been shaped to accept a lie as if it is true. But we want to keep on pointing and repointing the truth of the matter. Like they say, numbers don't lie. What is printed is printed. In law, if they say shall is equal to must, you cannot change it. When the CSU says we cannot confirm that this particular certificate came from us, that settles it. It means the issuer of the certificate is trying to say, I did not issue this, because they can't confirm it. They're saying it did not come from them. And so we have some video clips of some people who have been speaking strongly, and we need to, let's analyze what is happening and also see some other people who are trying to massage the situation, tell us to accept it, that we should just forget it and move on. As if a little child forges WAEC results and the university finds out, they will tell the person, oh, because you have passed your year 1 and year 2, you're almost in your year 3, you will soon graduate. Let's just move on. Is that how it is done in Nigerian universities? The answer is no. I know a friend of mine, before he gave his life to become a practicing Christian, he forged the WAEC certificate he used to gain admission. And on the 3rd year, he realized that he can't remain in the university with a false certificate. He volunteered. He walked out of the university. He wrote WAEC again and came back to university and graduated. So honorable. Nobody knew he did it, but he did it because that's the right thing. And some people are telling us that we can forge our way into the Senate. We can forge our way into governorship. We can forge our way into House of Representatives and even forge our way into presidency. And if we are caught, we should let the sleeping dog lie so that the person will finish their tenure. Is that what you want? No. Some of the videos we are going to play is the argument in that respect. So I start by saying, Ifeoma, please roll out one of those videos for us, okay?
Yeah. So, guys, actually, the opposition, the APC, they've been doing their best to paint the wrong narrative. We can't wait to counter that because they want the public to believe a lie and they want the media not to allow the truth to be out there. And these are some of the things that we'll be countering today in today's video. So I want you to take a look at what Keneth Okonkwo got to say. I'll be coming back to what
Ahmed Tinubu
said.
Or Bola Adekunle Tinubu submitted to INEC is forged. In that, I agree with him 100%. Because what is forgery? Forgery is the act of falsely making, imitating, or altering a document or signature with an intent to defraud. Was the document, certificate he presented to INEC falsely made? Yes, they have admitted that it was made by a third party, a vendor. Was it an imitation of the original? Yes, because they want to imitate the certificate made by the Chicago State University. Does it have alterations in it? Many. The signatories are altered, the signature is altered, the logo is altered, everything about the certificate is altered. So it is clearly a case of forgery. And you know what? It is terrible that the documents that he used to purportedly gain admission into the university, he claimed he got it from the government college, Lagos, and he graduated 1970. At a time, the school was not even in existence. You know what? That makes it fake. It means that he entered the university assuming, without considering he was even there, with fake, unexistent results manufactured by him. And you know, you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. That has even nullified everything about what he said about Chicago State University. 7/0
Mr. Keneth Okonkwo.
Not 7.
Mr. Keneth Okonkwo,
he said he was born in...
Well, sorry, allow me to interrupt you a bit. I'm sure you know how the Nigerian system works. We cannot be the one to decide that the certificate is forged. At the end of the day, it will have to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will be the ultimate decider. Now, my question to you is this. Some people believe...
Excuse me. Before Kenneth continues, I disagree with this lady. This lady is trying to purport that it is now the courts that can certify something as forged or not. No, the court will penalize someone for forging a document, and the court can rely their conclusion based on the position of the maker or the supposed maker that someone else fraudulently intend or imagine. Do you understand? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Now, what does that mean? If, for instance, WAEC, someone wants to get admission in the University of Lagos and do not have WAEC results, he forged WAEC results. There is no court that can become a spirit and confirm that that result is forged, except University of Lagos. The moment University of Lagos takes a position, I'm sorry, except WAEC. The moment WAEC takes a position on that particular document, the courts can now say to the person being accused, you are free or not free, based on the testimony of WAEC. So this lady in the media is wrong by saying that we know how Nigeria works, that the court. No. The people who is supposed to be the maker of the certificate have formally and officially taken position. They said, we do not know where this particular certificate emanated from. It is now the duty of the courts to determine what they do to someone who forged. Can you continue with the video, please?
That Atiku Abubakar's call for unity between PDP, the Labour Party, and the NNPP is a bit too late. This collaboration probably would have been more fruitful pre-election and not now that the case is already at the Supreme Court. What's your take on that?
Oh, well, thank you. Like I said, it wasn't my statement that admitted that that certificate is forged. It was theirs. Because they said the release of the certificate will do irreparable damage to them. The certificate has been released and it has done irreparable damage to them. So it wasn't my own admission. Recall that Robert Clark, an octogenarian of his generation, admitted that his generation are crooks, in his words. He said, we are all crooks in Nigeria. Recall that Professor Wole Soyinka said his generation is a wasted generation. So that wasted generation of crooks are the people we are facing now. And unfortunately, Atiku Abubakar, like you rightly pointed out, who belonged to that generation, is rather coming too late. He had the opportunity in 2015 to stick to his party, joining others to bring about new Nigeria. But he decided to destroy his own party in the name of zoning, that they ought to have zoned the party to the north. And so he joined other people to ensure that the party was zoned to the north, even if it means siding APC. And that was how Atiku joined others to enthrone Buhari, that has performed worse than any other leader in Nigerian history. So the history of 2023 started from 2015. In 2023, Atiku had his constitution, PDP constitution, section 73C, which says the party shall pursue the aim and objective of adhering to the policy of rotation and zoning of party and political elective offices in pursuance of the principle of equity, justice, and fairness. A man who could not allow power to shift, who wanted to succeed his fellow Fulani Northern Muslim in the interest of injustice, cannot come to tell us to follow him in the interest of justice. So the issue is that when you want to go to equity, you go to equity with clean hands. Yes, he should tell Nigerians the truth. He is fighting to know whether he can become president, not that he is fighting for justice, because it was his injustice in not allowing power to shift to the south that even brought the certificates forger to come and become the leader. So the issue here is very clear. Atiku Abubakar should know that after contesting presidency for 6 times, time has come for him to repent from being a member of a crooked, wasted generation and join the new generation in the quest for a new Nigeria, which is exemplified by Peter Gregory Obi. If Atiku had joined this force earlier now, there is no issue of APC being the president of Nigeria. So I acknowledge that he is fighting for his political life. He wants to be president. That is why he's fighting. Not that he's fighting for justice, because it is his injustice against the people of the South, against the constitution of his party, that brought about the possibility of a Tinubu in the first place. So please, he's fighting for his political life. And I will advise him to join the people that are fighting for equity, justice, and fairness, which he failed to fight in PDP in 2023, so that we can have a new Nigeria. Let him just...
Sorry, is here. Yes, even though this question, to be honest, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. But
Even
no,
though this question,
I wanted
which
to
is,
address something because the lady did not allow him to finish talking for the benefit of our viewers.
yes,
As regards to the forged certificate, he was trying to
exactly.
prove why he said that Tinubu forged the certificate, because the narrative out there, the APC people are coming out to say that there is no forgery attached to that. Well, he made mention of the university saying that possibly he got it from any of the vendors, and then he talked about the certificate he used in gaining admission in CSU, that one has a problem too, because the school he got it from never existed in the year he said he graduated, and also the
Yes,
transcript that has a female instead of a male. And then he wanted to talk about his age before the lady interrupted him. So if you can just like put these things together.
Yeah, I'm trying to, yes, exactly, put it together by actually even going backwards. Just like Keneth Okonkwo said, assuming I accept without conceding. Okay? How come nobody in APC is even repenting when they talk, or reminding us in the first place that there is a government college Lagos forgery that cannot be denied? How come nobody's hyping that? There is a man called Jerry Savelle No, is it Jerry Savelle? No, I can't forgotten. No. Sorry, Jerry Savelle is another person. I've forgotten his name here in the UK that used to work for BBC and did a whole of atrocities before he died. And died, he was knighted. He was a knight. The Queen knighted him. After many years, the atrocities that he committed came to light. They tried him posthumous, found him guilty posthumous. Do you understand what I mean? That's justice. Some of the people he abused had even died. Some are still alive. Some are now older people. They were children then. But they did what? They tried him posthumous. And here we are. Here we are having somebody sit in an exalted office and having forged a certificate of a secondary school that was not existing, and nobody's talking about it. The media is not even bringing it up. The party themselves are treating it as if what is in it is no big deal. And then the transcript from the Chicago State University said, whereas this name existed in our record, and as long as we are concerned, there is only one name now that is alive that has the same name. So we, by principle of deduction, deduce that he could be the person. Fine. But that this particular one that they call now INEC diploma was not issued by them. When you say, assuming self that you said that you have vendors, what do you do by vendors? Is it not hiring a third party to represent you? When you hire a third party to represent you, are they not supposed to meet your prescribed standard? That's what is called outsourcing. Outsourcing happening everywhere. When you go to Lagos, the VFS office in Lagos, in Ikeja, in Ikoyi, in VI, or in Abuja, for your British visa, for your Canadian visa, all those, do you know you are not interfacing with British embassy? You are interfacing with a business organization that had been authorized by the British High Commission. Is a third party. The biometrics and everything you do in Lagos, that person you're seeing there is not a staff of the British High Commission or even US Embassy. VFS is a British company that is a consulting firm that does business for India, for Canada, for UK, for many other countries. In a place like Nigeria, they capture data, they gather documents, they now forward it to the High Commission of the country in question. So when they say a third party can issue certificate, it's not as if a third party will just wake up and just say, oh, who are you? The third party must also have a vetting process of making sure that they are not just dishing out certificate to anybody they feel like. If that be the case, why did Chicago State University publish on their website the fees you pay for reissuance of certificates? Why? If you're an international student, if you want to pick it as a person, there are different fees they publish on their website. Thirdly, like the narrative somebody painted again, one of those APC guys, that because they did not issue certificate to him, so they couldn't issue, which is a fact. If they didn't issue, because the Chicago State University also mentioned in the transcript that Bola A. Tinubu did not collect the original certificate in the first place. They did not see anywhere in the record where he collected the certificate in the first place. So like you said, let Nigerians not be carried away. I don't want to join in the politics of the politicians, why Atiku is fighting for what he's fighting or not fighting. The truth of the matter is that when Gani Fawemi was fighting for this back 23, 24 years ago, he was not a politician. He's not a member of ACN or Alliance for Democracy or PDP, as the case may be. He was just a patriotic Nigerian that spotted injustice. Let me even ask you a question. The person in question we are talking about was a senator in 1992, before Abacha took over and before Abacha's army went to steal everything he had. So the question I want to ask is, which document did he submit to NEC? Because then it was called National Electoral Commission. Which document did he submit to NEC to become a senator in 1992? Why is it that nobody is thinking like that? Or in those days, do you become a senator without even submitting academic qualification? Before the so-called army coming to raid, because Abacha took over, I think in November 2003. Was it November? I can't remember when Shonekon was in power, that particular, but he took over in 1993. And he remained in power from 1993 to 1998. And when Abacha took over, he cancelled every other electoral process that Babangida started. The National Assembly was sitting down, they proscribed it, they sacked them, they chased away all the governors and appointed military administrators and what have you. Where is the document he used and submit to NEC when we have only two parties? You remember then, NRC and SDP, National Republican Convention and Social Democratic Party. Which document did he submit? So we can keep digging this thing. We can keep digging, and the more we dig, is the more it festers. Is the more it becomes as dirty as anything.
So, Doc, what do you think? What do you think about Peter Obi article asking Peter Obi to join him? I don't know. Is it that he wants the two of them? Is it not too late for him to make such a call? Do you think it's something that wants it?
You remember what Peter Obi said during the first press conference? They asked him, they say, are you going to team up with this? He said, listen, when two people are raped, both of them will come to give testimony that we are raped. For the fact they are presenting themselves and they are on the part of the complainants, that does not make them to be sleeping together, lying in the same bed. We are together. Peter Obi is working with, he doesn't need to come and sign a contract. Peter Obi is going around speaking on integrity. Atiku is talking about the integrity of our office and what have you. Nigerians are together. Do you understand? Nigerians are together in pursuit of what is justice. They don't need to sign any kind of formal paper. Look, we are here talking about Atiku, just like Keneth Okonkwo said here. We know what the contribution all of them made. We know even how it was the desire of Atiku indeed that made PDP to become a splinter. But on this singular issue of our constitution saying if you submit a forged document, you should be disqualified. It has been found, it has been proven that the forged document was submitted by someone because the institution, the body that is supposed to authenticate that certificate says we can't authenticate, we don't know where it came from. So what else are we talking?
So it is confirmed now that Tinubu forged his certificate, but the APC is trying to paint it the other way so that Nigerians will believe a lie. And they also want to keep singing it so that it will sink deep into the ears of our Supreme Court judges.
You know one of the reasons why. Did I tell you? Okay, let me tell you this story. When I was young, precisely in my primary six, something tragic happened in my family. I lost one of my cousin sisters, an older cousin like that, in a fatal motor accident. she died. I cried because this my older cousin, she had finished school then. So one of those people that buy us good toys and beautiful gifts. And so after the crying, they buried her. But something in me, something deep in me, was wishing that for some miraculous reason, that she could still wake up. So the next day, we got to school. One of my classmates walked up to me and said, did you hear? I said, no. He said that this morning when he was coming to school, that he heard that my cousin sister woke up, that she has resurrected. I know it was impossible, but because that's what I wanted to hear, I believed him. I believed him that my cousin is alive now. So, number one, the first category of people APC can buy are those people who know that this is a lie, but they just want someone who can polish this lie and make it arrive like truth so that they can do what? Buy it and say, oh, at least. They wait for the likes of Reno Omokri, the likes of, what is his name again? I haven't even heard about, what is the other lawyer that keep changing from party to party? Forgotten his name. They're waiting for the likes of all these people to come and tell them, oh, then I don't know if it also happened to you Nigerians. You remember then when we were also small, Nigerians will wait late into the night for Nigerians to play their match, and after the Super Eagle, what have you, they will defeat them. And then the next morning, you're wishing that there is a way the reversal could happen. And then some boys will gather and say, that referee that officiated, that they have sacked him and they have cancelled the match. Even though you know that is not how FIFA function, but you will believe that lie because you wanted something that will console you and make you feel like opportunity will be given to Super Eagle again to play again. There are a lot of people in Nigeria that want to hear that. And then second set of people are people who are just naturally, they can't even bend down. This transcript of the deposition, which is where questions were asked to Chicago State University registrar, it is in the public domain. Why can't Nigeria pick it and read for themselves? Why is it that, like they said, if you hide something in a book for a black man, that thing can be hidden forever? Why can't Nigerians speak and say, instead of them believing what I am saying, or what Reno Omokri is saying, or what the other person from APC is saying, let me read for myself. Why can't Nigerians read for themselves? Because if they read, they will find out more that indeed Chicago State University washed their hand. In fact, when they asked they asked the registrar, this particular diploma certificate that was submitted to INEC, which they now gave an exhibit, and an exhibit name as INEC diploma. Do you know, they gave it a name as INEC diploma. That is the name that is on the transcript. The Chicago State University registrar said, we have never seen this INEC diploma until this case started. And that this INEC diploma was not, we cannot confirm that it emanated from us. That is, that it came from us. Whether through our third party or our fourth party, it can be traceable back to us. What else are we talking here?
Thank you very much, Doc. So for Atiku, who is calling on Peter Obi, I think we are already united in this, because if you take a look, you get to know that David Hundeyin has been on the top of this. He has really worked, like night and day to follow this case, and he keeps bringing out updates. And I believe that it's even the obedience that really supported Atiku mostly in this journey. And this is where we are. Although the APC is coming to say, oh, he didn't achieve anything, I believe he achieved a lot. So let's watch out and see what will happen.
Look, before you go on, when APC say he didn't achieve anything, he did.
He did.
Because you know how I know he did? Because even until now, we have not seen the copy of the forged Cambridge certificate, but we have now seen it. And we have now seen that Cambridge certificate. Now, let me put it this way. Atiku has succeeded in letting us know that this heist we are talking about did not start with INEC. It dated back. It is an intercontinental, decades, almost going to half a century, minimum of 47 years by my own calculation. 1977 was when someone gained admission in a university and presented a certificate issued by a school that was not in existence. Today is 2023, which is 47 years. Am I right? 3 years off to become half a century. It is Atiku that made us. They say it's a fishing expedition. Yes, Atiku killed a whale. He killed a shark. He killed all kinds of fish. We thought we were looking for one kind of species, but we have seen more than we can imagine.
Mhm.
So the question is, when someone was saying that he went to Government College Ibadan, GCI, whereas the person is also talking about Government College Lagos, which one should we believe? So why is it that nobody, no media house is calling APC stalwarts to their studio and say, what then do you have to say about the Government College situation? What do you have to say about the integrity of someone who has been doing this since 1977? Why? Imagine that someone is caught tomorrow from University of Ibadan during his third year, that he got C in physics, and he managed to convert that C to A in order to gain admission.
Yeah, I think we have a glitch. Doc will soon be back. So guys, I'll continue with this video that we have on the screen. Let's listen to what Keneth Okonkwo still has to say while we wait for Doc to get back to the stage.
Step down and join us so that we will win our case in Supreme Court, God willing. And the President Peter Obi, will be enthroned in Nigeria. A man of competence, character, and capacity.
All right, Mr. Okonkwo. So, stop in essence, as a group, Labour is not joining former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in his quest, for justice regarding the certificate saga. So that's what you're confirming right now.
What I'm confirming to you is that as a group, we are asking Atiku Abubakar to join us so that we can bring out a new Nigeria.
Well, Mr. Okonkwo, this is a very interesting issue. Some people in the president's inner circle are saying they believe that this issue of the certificate forgery saga is frivolous and is not enough reason for the court to overturn the president's victory as declared by INEC. Instead, they say Nigerians should focus on issues of development, on rebuilding the economy, and so on. How would you reply, to people who say such?
Is it not scandalous that we have come to a level where people are saying that when a leader is false, fake, and forged, that it is a trivial matter? So you can imagine the level of the morality quotient that we have arrived at. Well, generation of vipers will give birth to scorpions and serpents. And we have to tread upon scorpions and serpents in order to move forward in this country. How can you say that a young girl called Mesoma, who passed her JAMB, who scored very good grades, but because she was greedy, went and got third-party agents to write her own result and produce her own certificate? How can you say what she did was not trivial? How can you punish her for that? And then you have a leader of your country doing exactly the same thing, assuming without conceding that he attended the university. Then he wrote his own certificate. The same thing this girl did. And then some people are saying it's trivial. You know why they're saying it? Because they have destroyed their conscience and morality. Whoever ever came out on TV to make such a statement, mark my words, is not fit to hold any public office in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. Evil is evil. Criminality is criminality. Forgery is forgery. And the Supreme Court, by law, not just that they have the right to accept the evidence, they have a duty to accept it and act on it. Because by law, they say in exceptional circumstance, where the evidence was not available during trial, the Supreme Court or appellate court can accept the evidence. Again, Supreme Court is a policy court. Are you saying it is now a Nigerian thing to forge, laying credence to the allegation by the university abroad? Are you saying the Supreme Court will keep quiet and portray Nigeria to the whole world as a nation of forgers? The policy of Nigeria is that Section 137(1)(j) of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended is that whoever has presented forged certificate to Independent National Electoral Commission is disqualified from being president or holding any political office. So whoever that supports...
Sorry, I'm back. I had a network glitch, I admit, and I am back. Can you hear me now? All right. I was just saying something before my line went out, which is what Keneth Okonkwo actually took over from. Imagine indeed that you converted the C that is in your grade. Someone converted it to A, maybe in physics or in maths, in order to gain admission in University of Ibadan, University of Lagos or Benin, or University of Nigeria, in order to study engineering, first year, and the person is caught in third year. What do you think will happen to that person? Do you think that the University Senate will clear his degree? No. Do you remember that in Nigeria, even by the time you're graduating, I don't know if they're still doing it, you still have to come for verification of your certificate that they used to admit you. Why are they setting higher standard for lower situations and water down the standard where it should matter most? Let us bear that in mind. Secondly, like he said, the Supreme Court is a policy court, meaning that the Supreme Court, even if they want to make a new law, they should make it to favor justice. This thing that is written in our Electoral Act, I think the best way forward, one of the ways forward, is that something like forgery. Even if you're caught on the third year and it is proven that you forged your certificate when you submitted certain documents to INEC, just in the same way that somebody can forge a certificate and submit a university in the first year. And if the person is caught after matriculation, after passing first year and passing second year and passing third year, if you're caught on the fourth year, you'll be rusticated. If a president is caught in the third year of his office, that immunity thing should not hold because it is a pre-presidential matter. If you are caught, you should be removed from office. And not just removed, but all your remuneration and everything, you should return it. If you have assets, the government should liquidate it and pay back the country for all the protections. And all those security protections that are given to them, you should be stripped of all those things. So that if you forge certificate and get into power, you will not use the election petition tribunal and do the abracadabra to escape, because they can bully their way to escape. And anybody has a right to prove that you forged something, and the moment you're caught, you pay dearly for it. Secondly, the Supreme Court is at their discretion. The law permits the Supreme Court to admit new evidence. Thirdly, we have mentioned here the Supreme Court rules, where they even mentioned how new evidence can be admitted. So, if the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has good faith and want to favor Nigerians, and with all the news this situation has gathered, they are under obligation to say, what is this news? Let us see. What is it that you people say you have? Let us see. But you know my hunch? I have this feeling that based on the way the Chief Justice was talking this week when he was making his son a judge, based on the way he classified all of us, and all this pleading we are pleading, they call it vitriolic speaking, that there's a lot of vitriol in the media. I see a situation whereby they will not even as much as accept. They will throw away this. They won't even touch it. They will not even touch it. You know why? Like I said in the same lower hearing court, because they know that if they touch it, they ever open it, untie it a bit, it smells. The stink will smell from Abuja to Atlantic and to Sahara Desert. So they're going to use the technicality of don't touch, don't near it, just walk away. Don't touch, don't near it, just walk away. So Nigerians, if you know how to cry, if you know how to pray, if you know how to beckon on them, to please use the power vested on them by the Constitution, which allows them to use the discretion. Why would they use their discretion against Nigerians? Because to not accept this document and review it because it is at their discretion means that they want to use their discretion against Nigerians and against justice. But it is in the best interest of Nigerians. In the best interest of the integrity of the judiciary that they say, we have heard, let us see. Did you remember what the judge in the US said? He said, I've received a whole lot of mail about this thing, so I want to hear it and discharge of it. Why can't our own court do it? Why can't our own court do it? But my mind tells me that these people, they will look us in the face and they will say, we are. They will only, you see, you can imagine the kind of names the appeal court called us. Only God knows the one the Supreme Court is planning to call us. Because, I mean, you can hear it from the tone, the body language of the Chief Justice of the Federation himself. If Chief Justice can sit as the highest judge in Nigeria today and classify all of us as people who are making vitriolic statements online, you can imagine the judges he will appoint in the panel, how they will lambast us. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Any such person is a conspirator to the crime after the fact. And that person also should be debarred from holding any public office in this country. So the Supreme Court, not only that they have the right by law, and they have done it before, they have a duty by law to ensure that a certificate forger does not become the president of Nigeria. Do you know? Go to India, he will be treated like a pariah. Go to United Nations Assembly. The people that even said they will meet him on sidelines, sideline him. And
Mr. Okonkwo,
how do you want a leader?
Mr. Okonkwo, if I may step in, Mr. Okonkwo, it's not proving, if I may step in, please, if it's not proving that the president is a certificate forger, and we will not use this platform to emphasize that. We still have to wait for the Supreme Court to get judgment on that. But let me just land, please. Yes, but that's what we're saying. We still haven't arrived at that decision yet. Let us wait for that, Mr. Okonkwo. Please let us wait for that. So if Mr. Atiku's Atiku's prayer is not answered, please. If his prayers is not answered, please. What is the way forward for him politically? Good.
Let me make one point clear. Before today, before it was proved by CSU that this certificate did not originate from them, which is the condition to prove that a certificate is forged. I have never used this language in any forum or any medium. So I say only the things that have been proved. Chicago State University said, this certificate is not from us. And as a lawyer, that is what the court said you need to prove that a certificate is forged. So that's by the way. So if anybody feels that I am not in order, let the person sue me for defamation. But I'm entitled to my freedom of thought. I'm entitled to freedom to express it the way I believe in it. So that's by the way. Then secondly, the way forward is that if the Supreme Court or any other court now says that Nigeria is a nation of forgers, then they should take responsibility for giving Nigeria that name. The way forward is that it will set a bad precedent in Nigeria. So the way forward is that every Nigerian should do the right thing and ensure that the law is respected. The way forward is to uphold the express provision of Section 137(1)J, that if you have submitted a forged certificate to INEC, you're not qualified to be president. That is the way forward. Recall that in 1999, when Bola Tinubu contested as a governor, he deposed to an affidavit, and he mentioned 4 things in that affidavit: his NYSC certificate, the primary school he purportedly attended, the secondary school he attended. He said he attended University of Chicago. All 4 of them false, including his date of birth. Fake, not in existence. Please help me and give me the vocabulary that I will use to qualify such a person, so that you would not say I'm using my own words.
Mr. Keneth Okonkwo, well, yeah.
I think you have said it all.
Oh my God.
That's a beautiful way
Okonkwo has finished these people, honestly.
That's a beautiful way to end it today, Nigerians and lovers of Nigerians.
Yeah, Doc, we don't really have much time. I think I just have to play what Dele Farotimi said, then you summarize all together.
Okay, that's fine, yeah.
To yourself, showing that it was a female that had the qualification to enter the place. Nobody is talking about that. If we are not going to be dealing with the substance and we are just dancing around the issue, we can't even agree on what is not or what should not be argued about, that is already clear in the face of the deposition, that this document to Mark A that was given to INEC by Mr. Tinubu did not emanate from the body that was purportedly issuing the document. The body came out clearly. Now, whether Mr. Tinubu attended the university, whether he attended having the right qualifications, whether he lied about the schools he attended, whether Government College Lagos was found in 1970 or 1974, that's another story entirely. And the deeper you dig into this, the messier it becomes. And I actually think that we have a duty not to allow truth to become transactional and subjective. Facts on the ground are clear. The certificate submitted by Mr. Tinubu is a forgery. That is not my opinion. That is what the registrar of the school has declared on oath. So what our own courts would do with it is what they are prepping for with all these alternative narratives and facts that they are spewing. Oh, so I have a driver's license, but I forgot my driver's license, and I have now forged one so that I might prove that I actually had one issued to me. It's still a forgery.
Okay, 2 quick comments, and then I'll raise a question. 1, a lot of emotions have been invested in this, and depending on where people stand, they bring their emotions forward. But public opinion, as you
who is sat in the highest office of the land is a career criminal. That is entirely up to the Supreme Court. It is up to the court to decide whether it is capable of saving what we have described variously as a democracy. What I have said is very simple. No. I'm sorry, Dr. Abati. I am sorry, Dr. Abati. Please rein in Mr. Azan. Rein him in. Rein him in. Rein him in. He had his say and I did not interrupt him.
You had your time.
He had his say and I did not interrupt him. Please rein him in. What I said is very clear. What I said is very clear.
Don't interrupt him. Please wait.
You are very biased.
Okay.
In your own opinion.
Okay.
Made up your mind.
Please.
Addressing the judiciary. This is the issue. Please. The judges addressed it.
Okay, but evidence. Are there compelling exceptional circumstances that would, dictate that? Do you think that forgery can be established at this stage, considering the fact that there are decided cases on forgery? The most celebrated one being the Eremen Yegio case in Bayelsa.
Dr. Abati, when your legislators are corrupt, you should be worried. If your executive peopled by crooks, you should be afraid. Or when the judiciary stops being court of law, the people should be alarmed. Nigerian courts over the past few years have shown very clearly that we have good reasons to be worried about the capacity to deliver justice or to give equity. However, I do know that within the inherent jurisdiction of that court, it has the powers, if it so desires and if it finds the will, to hear evidence that will suggest that the person who is sat in the highest office of the land is a career criminal. That is entirely up to the Supreme Court. It is up to the court to decide whether it is capable of saving what we have described variously as a democracy. What I have said is very...
So, Doc, I want you to weigh in at this point because we don't really have time. And I think we have this video that I would have equally want us to take because the APC is trying
that
to
we
say
have become a nation now. There are no judges in our Supreme Court who understand the essence of jurisprudence. I'm not assuming the rule of the Supreme Court, but they should not do the same. They must not come and tell us here that we have become a nation now. There are no judges in our Supreme Court who understand the essence of jurisprudence, who understand that being a final court of policy, they have automatic powers to do and undo. Why do they have court rules? Why would they come and even start telling us that we're telling them about a global shame for all of us? And they're trying to tell us that their main escape route is legalese. Did they produce a document that the school could certify? The school said they couldn't. In black and white, the school said it's a Nigerian thing. The school said, oh, they can't even go into the entry requirement. If you were not qualified to have entered in the first instance, whatever certificate you're even claiming you got from there is null and void. The school could not explain in clear terms because of the kind of school they are. They couldn't even say that it was a woman that came in or it was a man and this was what happened. They couldn't even own their own bullshit, if I may use, pardon my friend.
Sorry,
yes,
that's a strong language.
It's a strong language.
On television, it's unacceptable.
They couldn't even leak their own. Said, we have a couple of vendors who will help us to print whatever they print. And because we're such a school of that nature, we don't have a format, we don't have a way of verifying, we don't have a way of authenticating even the ones that you're saying. We didn't issue that certificate. We don't know where he got it from. He could have gotten it from El Dorado or even from Oluwole, very close to his house in Lagos. And you think that decent people will not have this conversation. I ask you, Sheon, flip it back. If this had been, maybe, I don't want to use President Buhari's name, if this had been Mamadou Jallo, that was the president that was bringing this kind of document, do you know how the media would have hounded him? Do you think it was easy for, what's that guy's name, the former speaker, Salisu Buhari? Do you think it was easy for him as a young man to come and say, I'm sorry, I told a lie and left the scene? Do you know what is called the Bushido Code? The Japanese have a Bushido Code that was similar to the code of the Yorubas, When a leader misbehaves to a certain level, the Yorubas tell you, go and open the calabash. That means go and commit suicide. Because we have a phrase that said, death is better than dishonor. How can this man sit down here and be telling me jargons? Look, my brother, the court will do what the court has to do. I'm not impugning the justices. I have all of the confidence in them that on the strength of it, they will look. But let nobody come and start to prepare the mind of the Nigerians as though the court has not even listened to it. Did we go all the way to America to go and fish? No, we didn't. We went to America because we were very convinced that something was not right. And even when we went there together, you know what they said? They said they would suffer irreparable damage. The document they should have simply produced if they had it. And they were done.
Yeah, let's take it from here. Honestly, they are trying to paint a narrative. They just want to send this information out there. Nigerians will embrace it, that it wasn't a forgery, but it is clear. It is clear. It's not just because it's Tinubu. It's clear. The Chicago State University said, what you submitted to INEC, we didn't issue it to you. So who then? Who then issued it to him? That is the question.
Do you know where I want to connect? I want to connect with what he said if it was one Mohammed Bashiru. He's trying to say the media is doing their best to do a damage control for these people. You remember that there was what is called Radio Kudirat, meaning media, that was created during the Abacha's regime. It was that Radio Kudirat that put all the fire on Abacha because they understand the power of the media. That's why they are hijacking the media. I don't know if you saw that video where Wike was saying to the media, you guys are doing well these days. Maybe because I am placing adverts in you people's companies. That's why you people are not bashing me. Wike was telling them in his way, if I can't be paying you and you are writing against me. The media is hijacked. The media has been bought over. The media is being used for PR. Let me show you the title of one of the write-up of TVC here. They said here, TVC, they said Chicago State University confirms Tinubu and authenticates his certificate. I'm telling you. So what he's saying here is that the media houses, you see the way both Abati and Shegun is saying easy, 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 because these people are their paymasters. It is these people that place adverts as a business to them. And if you don't, they withdraw. They want that advert account. They want that portfolio. And someone like Wike, for instance, cannot come and place advert in your station that runs in millions if you point out what they're doing. So they are interested in their business portfolio more than the reportage. They are not interested in saying the truth the way it appears. They come to say, what do you think? What do you think? Is that what they should be saying? Shouldn't Shegun, shouldn't Abati come, print the section of our constitution that put these judges on their toes and call APC lawyer and say, interpret this thing for us from your own point of view. This is what the law says. How are you going to handle it? This is what the law says. How are you going to handle it? And instead of saying, oh, what do you think? Oh, what do you feel? Oh, where did you sleep? Oh, how are you waking up? I beg, Nigerians, we cannot be fooled. We know the truth. We know the truth. And all we can encourage you this night is what? Spread the truth. Spread it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, guys, thank you all for joining us. So you can see what is happening. They are out there to push the wrong narrative. And that is why we all have to lend our voices in countering whatever message, wrong messages they are sending out there. So we want to appreciate you all for joining us today. Please do join us tomorrow. If you don't mind, give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And please support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on your notification bell for more updates. Thank you and God bless you. Good night. Doc, thank you for all your beautiful contributions. Good night.
Thanks, yeah.